right, what's been happening since part 1? Well, Bill's been put back together. But what I found is that comparing him to pictures and drawings of the prototype is actually not big enough, which is a strange thing really, because when you consider how big the Hornby and Bachmann versions are, Bill was the right height, but he's not the right length. He actually should be about this long. The cab on mine is not the right length. I believe the tank is more or less the right shape from the front, but not from the side. So the tank needs to come back, the firebox needs to be extended, and the tank needs to be extended. So what I've done is taken a few castings of Bill's body from the mould that we made, like this, and I've chopped up one of them brutally and taken my best casting, chopped that one up too, and spliced the two together to make a single longer tank engine. Here are the main components. I'm just going to focus the camera there. So he should be about that long. I'll put a picture up on the screen showing you how this compares to the prototype, but I think these are the correct proportions and should result in a more accurate model, which means that I also need to remake Bill at some point, but all in good time. What I'm going to do is continue gluing these together, go over it with some filler, and paint it before putting it in the mould again and creating a new master from this one. This one will then spawn a new load of bodies that are longer. I'll also need to cut and shut the running plate. This is the rigid plastic one, to make this one longer here and here. And hopefully we should end up with something with the correct proportions and the same hunkered down look. I've always wondered why Bill looks so squat, and that's why. Of course, one day I'll get around to redoing him too. But let's see how we get on. I'm not sure at what point it becomes a case of sculpting a loco body from Squadron Green putty, but I really used a lot of the stuff to fill gaps. The tool I'm using is a handy little spatula, as opposed to my usual method of using the back of the tweezers. All of the cut and shut components need a smear of filler to enable me to sand them to the same smoothness as the rest of the body. Your fingertips are the best way of checking for ridges in the material. It's not entirely necessary to add filler to the inside too, but as this will be used as a casting master, it will mean more resin and fewer weak points on the resulting body. One of the things I've done to the front section is to extend the height of the chimney a little. The Ertl body has quite a small chimney compared to the dome and water filler. Later on I also added a little handle to the water filler cap. During this process I'm constantly checking the overall look of the loco like this. And now everyone's favourite part, sanding! Seemingly endless sanding! Because the filler primer increases the surface thickness of the model, I want to try and get it as smooth as possible before more paint goes on. This also involves using the files to make sure some edges don't get too rounded. As well as being longer, the running board needs to be wider, so this one is being chopped down the middle. Here I'm checking the ratio of the saddle tank to running board against photographs to work out how much to add in. This running board won't actually be used. I'll make a new one from styrene, but adding this sections helps to understand the size it needs to be. After the standard filler primer and wet sanding process, the modified body gets offered up to the stretched running board. Dimensionally it's looking okay, but the finish is not so great. What I did after this was quite severe. I was not satisfied with the way the front of the cab had been hacked up, so the whole lot was removed to be replaced with a fresh piece of styrene. You can see I have marked out where the windows should go, so I have a better chance of cutting even holes rather than trying to hack them out with them still attached to the body. Note that I've also added styrene sheet to the bottom of the boiler around the smoke box to make sure that the mating surfaces are completely flat. The next stages will be to remake the running board and buffer beams and just get on with blending the whole lot together. There's been a lot of 2 steps forward and 1 step back with this so far, and I am keen to get the master to a completed state. So that's the update, just a short one this time, but hopefully I'll get back to building Ben again soon and I'll be able to share the results with you. Thanks again for watching.